Sketching is one of the fastest ways to communicate design ideas. I'm Kate in Illustrator, and in this video I will be sharing the basics of one of the most important principles in sketching – perspective. Welcome to this lesson on perspective. A well-executed perspective is crucial for the success of both a sketch and sketcher. Let's focus on this lesson about the basics of perspective. Perspective is a technique for representing the volume of an object on a flat surface. When we observe an object, the parts that are closer to us appear larger, while the parts that are farther away appear smaller. The base term of perspective is also a horizon line or eye-level line. The horizon line is a horizontal line that separates the sky from the ground or water. The horizon line can be positioned above the object, pass through the object, or be lower than the object. This refers to the horizontal line that represents the viewer's eye level in the perspective drawing and how it relates to the placement of object in the scene. Let's consider an example in the 3D program that I typically use for designing houses. In this example, there is a human figure, and I have positioned the figure so that its eyes are at the same level as the horizon line. The object is currently positioned at eye level, and I'm going to raise it slightly higher, so we see the bottom of the cube now. If we position this object below the person's eye level, we will be able to see the upper face of the object. If we position the object at the level of a person's gaze, which is approximately 1.5 meters, and I'm taking the level of 1.2 meters for this example, we will be able to see one face of the object. Let's take a look at this cube. As we know, all edges of this cube are parallel. However, when we rotate the object, we can see that the edges meet at certain points, which are called vanishing points. In this example, we can see 3 vanishing points. I take the ruler, and if I place it along these edges, we can see that the lines meet at this point 1. Then I place the ruler along these edges and see that lines meet at the point 3. And the same I have for point 2. To draw the object, we use the vanishing points and the rays that extend from them. In interior sketching, it is common to use 1, 2, or 3 vanishing points. Please remember the rule that parallel lines always meet in perspective at 1, 2, or 3 points. It depends on the point of view and the shape of the object. When we draw an object on a plane, if its parallel lines don't converge at a single point, the resultant image of the object appears distorted. Let's examine this cube as an example. If we draw lines along its edges, we can observe that they don't converge at a single point. Instead, they diverge in different directions. Therefore, we can conclude that this cube has been inaccurately drawn in perspective. In order to correct the image of this cube, we need to redraw its edges so that they converge at the appropriate points. The Procreate app provides excellent tools for drawing perspective, which allow you to set vanishing points and easily sketch objects. We will cover all these tools in upcoming lessons. In this video, you can see how I redraw correctly the edges of the cube. I'd like to discuss one-point perspective with you. This technique involves using a single vanishing point on the horizon line to draw objects. To begin, we draw the horizon line, which represents eye level and is typically situated at a height of 1.50–1.70 meters, approximately at the level of a person's eyes. From this point, we can draw the rays and parallel edges of the objects in our drawing, aligning them with these rays to create the illusion of depth and perspective. If we want to build a perspective from a slightly different angle, we can use two-point perspective. This means we take 2 points on the horizon line and then draw the object according to these rays that come from these points. In this case, we observe the object from a different angle, whereas a one-point perspective shows the object as we see them directly. Two-point perspective is more natural for us and therefore is most often used for interior sketching. Also, there is another way of drawing perspective, three-point perspective. It is often used in the building of exterior composition when we sketch buildings or cartoon compositions. For example, when we want to show the ceiling higher or how small a person is. We use 3 points to build such a perspective. 2 points are placed on the horizon line, and the third point is placed either below or above the horizon line. Depending on this, we get various perspective distortions. Now I would like to look at some examples of how the vanishing point can be placed on the horizon line. There are various variations, and 3 examples are shown here. For instance, the vanishing point can be placed in the middle of the horizon line segment. In this case, the 2 walls, the left and the right one, open up or are shown at the same angle. If we place the vanishing point a little to the right, closer to the one of the walls, we will see that the opposite wall will open up larger, and this wall will take up more space in the picture. Respectively, we can use these techniques to play with the dynamics of compositions to show both the left and right sides in the same proportions. Otherwise, if we wish to focus on either right or the left side, we can move the vanishing point relative to the horizon line and the segment located on the front wall. In the case of two-point perspective, the same applies depending on where the vanishing points are placed. We will get a different view of the walls considering the interior. The closer the point is to one of the walls, the more the opposite wall opens up or takes up space in the picture. We will look at this with examples. The main idea is that the vanishing points can be located in the different places on the horizon line, and this affects how the final composition and room angle will look. And next, I would like to show you examples of sketches with the different types of perspective. For example, this sketch is built in one-point perspective. We see front wall, and if we mentally extend the lines along the parallel edges of the objects, they will converge at single point on that wall. And this sketch is an example of two-point perspective, and if we mentally extend the lines, they will meet at vanishing points to the left and right. This sketch is built in three-point perspective. Let's take a look at where the vanishing points are located. And we can see that 2 vanishing points lie on the same line, the horizon line, and one is located below it. Such angles are interesting but also take more effort to draw. Let's look at this sketch. It seems to be drawn in one-point perspective, but if we check the floor plan, we will see that the chairs are placed at an angle. And to draw the chairs in perspective, we need to set new vanishing points on the same horizon line. For simplicity, let's look at this drawing. The right cube is constructed using point 1 and 2, while the left cube is built using point 3 on the horizon line. You can pause the video and try drawing cubes like this yourself. The skill of perspective drawing and understanding perspective is very important. If you want to deepen it, I invite you to my course Procreate for Design Projects, where we practice it through hands-on exercises and solving various tasks. For example, we draw this sketch from scratch using one-point perspective. The sketch of the chair we draw in 2 vanishing points. We also learn to draw from a photo and understand proportions. This skill is very useful, and such tasks are quite common. We practice drawing over a layout from 3D modeling program in 2-point perspective, working on both interiors and exteriors. We draw a lot, practicing both perspective drawing skills and creating volume and atmosphere. In the course Master 2D and 3D Sketch Plan and Isometric View, we practice constructing objects from different angles, further developing your drawing skills. These lessons are full of techniques for making beautiful, realistic sketches. If you want to level up your skills and learn how to create sketches for movie sets, I invite you to my unique course, Procreate for movie scenes and sets. This course is unique because we learn to create sketches based on a location photo for filming, understand proportions and perspective, and fill the sketch with the atmosphere. After completing my full course program, you will be able to create beautiful and atmospheric sketches, gain confidence skills in producing stunning visuals of any complexity, and apply them to any project. I look forward to seeing you in my lessons and wish you great success in your creative journey.